been nearly a decade since the Republican won statewide here in Colorado. The party's in basically a super minority in the state legislature. So how do you turn things around?
I think it's just what I've always been speaking about electing more Republicans and growing the party. And electing more Republicans, even last year, there was over 18 seats that were open that went uncontested to Democrats. There were House seats, Senate seats, a Board of Education seat, and even a whole bunch of DA seats. So we know if we start filling seats, if we start recruiting more candidates, we'll have more people to be getting involved in that. And growing the party is definitely, we know that we're closing down this office that's in South Denver, and we are always talking about having regional places, using I-70 and I-25 as the cornerstones, the four corners, and having a more local, because we all know that politics is local, so we want to have that regional kind of feel to it and bring more people to the party.
So you're planning to relocate the headquarters?
Right. So we're definitely doing the four corners, because you already know that our vice chair, Daryl Fellon, he's down in the southeast. We also have our secretary that's going to be down in the southwest, Russ Andrews, and then I'm going to be up in the northwest. So we don't need to have right next to each other and share the same wall. We hope, we know how to use Zoom.
Interesting. Where do you think the problem started for Colorado Republicans going back?
Wow, yeah. So I've been here 34 years. So I came in 1989, got married to a rancher in 91, and became a Republican, I think 92, 93, right before Ben Nighthorse Campbell did the same thing when he was senator. And what I see is that there's always been independence. And that was something I didn't know coming from Washington, D.C. And I married an independent, and we had to figure out why. So ranchers like to do that. And I just think you're right. Overall, I think we need to just find more balance. We need to find more things that we can agree on. We find some more common sense and sanity. So I think when it changed, all those different iterations, because we had different ones every year, every 2 years, a different chair, it's not a platform for activism. It is not a platform for issues. The number one, just to be absolutely clear, the job of the Republican Party, the state GOP, is to elect more Republicans and grow the party.
There was a recent poll that showed 3 in 5 Coloradans view the Republican Party negatively. Why do you think that is?
Messaging. We need to do better on messaging. We know that because 250,000 Republicans didn't even vote in 24. We already know that we need to get 300,000 of the independents, the right-leaning independents, also to get there. So, and we know that we have some young Republicans coming in. We have a lot of organizations with and working with the young Republicans. It's all on messaging. We have to do better at messaging.
So is the party out of touch with most Coloradans then?
I think they just still felt like it was the Republicans from the 1980s. I wish we could all go back to the 1980s when it was Ronald Reagan, and we're just not there anymore. We have to grow with the community, we have to grow with the culture, and we have to grow with the new members that we can get.
Should the party be focused more on social issues or fiscal issues?
Oh, absolutely fiscal issues, because that's something we could all agree on. Social issues are going to be all over the board. Let's do Reagan's 80-20.
So on your website, you listed woke gender ideology targeting children as one of the top issues that you want to focus on.
But I think those are no, I think it is definitely, we want to make sure those coalitions are working on that, and that we'll work parallel with that.
Okay. And you already, I was going to ask you about the branding program. Do you think President Trump is an overall help, or does he hurt the Colorado?
I think we all know where President Trump's landed here in Colorado, but we also know that he has in terms of favorability, 80% on making sure we cut crime in America and close the border, and also on economy. And I can't imagine that wouldn't resonate at least 60% to Colorado.
Should Coloradans not affiliated with the Republican Party be able to vote in the party's?
Okay, so that's where we are now, and I really believe that Prop 108 was unconstitutional. So I've already given money to the Claremont Institute to make sure that they can go through that whole lawsuit. So I really hope that we can get back to 2015, where the independents had a same-day registration change to be a Democrat or Republican if they wanted to be part of the primary system or wait for the general.
Why do you think that has hurt the party?
Because I think it just went off in different areas, and everybody just went like, oh, they get two, a Democrat ballot and a Republican ballot, and which one gets turned in. I think it would be better if we get back to and saying 108 is unconstitutional and get rid of that one.
Has it hurt the party's branding or what people believe? I
think it just didn't find in those years since then, I don't think there's been really good branding for it. You're right. I think they just didn't find it, or didn't find the piece, or didn't do the polling, and didn't find out what was best for how to go move forward. Because most likely this will be what we have ahead of us in 2026.
Okay, if those non-affiliates are not able to vote in the primary, won't that result in more conservative and
It's not,
more
it's,
extreme candidates?
I mean, you're making it sound like it's a no. It's that they can, if they want to do same-day registration, just like they did in 2015, and become a Democrat or become a Republican to vote in the primary.
Okay, I want to ask you about Tina Peters. I see that you wanted her to be released from jail. You don't think she should have been given the sentence that she was.
Correct. It's definitely a personal idea. You know, she's 69 years old. She's a Gold Star mom. I think her health is in question. And I just think that the sentencing was far extreme and is too far to get done, you know, for her, for the situation that happened. It's not about pro or con of what happened in the courts. It's just that the sentencing was over-sentenced, as I guess is the legal term. So I'm really hoping that the DOJ can come in and help us out and hopefully get her out sooner than later.
Do you have any idea on how they would do that?
I have none. I'm not a lawyer, but we raised one.
Okay. You also said that on your website that you want a better relationship with media across the state.
Absolutely. Here we are.
Yes, and we appreciate you talking to us. Why do you think that there needs to be a better relationship?
Well, I think a better relationship because there are sides and who talks to you and what side they're on and what piece they're on. Because I've dealt with media all day long when I was up as the state or the county treasurer and public trustee up in Steamboat.
Right. And for people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about your background, who Brita is.
Okay, who's Brita? So like I said, last 34 years I've been here in Colorado, came from Washington, D.C. before that. Even before that, I went to school as up in upstate New York, and I grew up outside of Chicago. So I'm married to a rancher, 34 years. We have two grown daughters, one's in Kansas, one's in Nebraska. Also a fire chief, been very fortunate. We started a volunteer fire department back in 2001, 9/11, when we realized we didn't have a local fire department. And I've been very blessed to be a part of that whole public safety for the last 24 years and 17 years as the volunteer fire chief.
All right, how do you recruit better candidates, or what's your strategy?
It's jigging around, looking for them, seeing what they're interested in. We've already found a lot of independents that want to help us fill those seats and new seats, and especially some of the ones that are going to be more strategic. And they're coming from the 2A groups, they're coming from the veteran groups, and we even have a group called a Medical Freedom Mom and Dads, and they want to help too.
Right. Denver is obviously not a place where there are a lot of Republicans. How do you think you start changing maybe people's perspective in Denver?
I think we still have more community, have more open events, teach everybody how to do things. We have a lot of groups that are already starting that in Denver about how the process is, how to testify, how to do a voter registration drive. And I've already seen on TikTok, there's a bunch of young kids in TikTok that live in Denver, and they're like, let's change Denver to red. And I'm like, I don't know if Denver's ever been red, but let's go work on that. So I've been reaching out to them, having coffee with them, and finding out what's important to them, the young people in Denver that are saying, we can't do this anymore. We can't afford anything anymore. Everything's closing down. The economy's awful. The taxes are awful. You know, talk about needles all over all different parks. And so I look forward to talking to them and seeing how we can work together.
What do you hope people will be thinking about the Colorado Republican Party, say, 2 years from now?
I just hope that you see that we're moving the needle and we're bringing out some really good ideas and bringing out some really good messaging, rebranding, and saying that this is a party that wants to be open and open to anybody that wants to come into the big tent, and you'll be welcome, and we'll find a place for you.
All right. Did you want to ask me? Sometimes they do.
It's okay. He's like, burning question. Sorry.
Is there anything else you want to add or point out?
Again, I just want to make it really clear. The job is to elect more Republicans and grow the party, and then obviously fundraise for that. And I think in the past years, we're seeing everybody using it as a platform for their agenda, and it isn't. We have a work to do, and we're going to definitely have like a factory. We're going to put out a product, and we're looking forward to doing that.
Is there someone who you think represents the face of the Colorado Republican Party?
Right now in Colorado?
Like a politician?
Oh my gosh. I don't think that's an odd question. Sorry, I'm taking so long to answer. I'm trying to think. I think it's all of us. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a group. It's a crew. It's all of us. It's a team. And you're going to look back and we're going to all look different.
And tell us what you're doing here
Okay, so tonight is a Republican meeting, and they're going to have pizza, and they asked me to be their speaker. So I'll be speaking and talking and answering their questions.
Right. And I guess we can expect you to be doing a lot more of this over the
Exactly. I appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brandon. I appreciate it.